Do you ever worry about clearly explaining food allergies or ensuring safety for a child with dietary restrictions in English? In this episode, you'll discover essential phrases to communicate your needs confidently, prevent cross-contamination, and handle social situations. Learn expressions like thanks for the heads up and looking out for me, plus how to adjust your politeness for any interaction. In these upcoming conversations, you will hear people talking about food allergies in different real-life situations, so pay close attention to the specific words and phrases they use.
That's right, Carol. Learning how to clearly explain what you or someone else needs regarding allergies is super important for safety and for fitting in socially. Let's jump into the practice samples.
Excuse me, I have a pretty severe peanut allergy. Can you tell me if this dish has any peanuts or is prepared in a way that might cause cross-contamination?
Of course, let me double-check with the chef right away. We take allergies very seriously here. Is there anything else you're trying to avoid?
No, just the peanuts. I carry an EpiPen, but I'd really prefer not to use it today. Thanks for looking out for me.
Hey Carol, these mini quiches look amazing. Did you make them with dairy?
Oh, thanks, Mark. Yes, they have cheese and cream in them. Why do you ask?
My son Leo is actually allergic to dairy. If he eats it, he gets a rash and his stomach gets really upset. I have to be super careful about what he puts in his mouth. Does anything else here have dairy I should watch out for?
Gosh, I'm glad you mentioned that. The brownies over there are also dairy-free. I made them specifically for a friend who can't have dairy either. Hi, Mark. I just wanted to remind you that my daughter, Mia, has a serious egg allergy. If she accidentally eats egg, she can have a bad reaction.
Thanks for the heads up, Carol. I made sure to tell all the staff here about it. We've kept her snacks completely separate, and we'll make sure she washes her hands thoroughly before and after eating.
That's great to hear. I filled out all the forms for her medication, but it's good to know everyone is aware. I appreciate you taking such good care of her.
No problem, Carol. Her safety is our top priority.
All right, Mark, those were excellent examples. In the first sample, what stood out to you as particularly useful for someone trying to explain a food allergy?
Well, Carol, the speaker right away said they had a severe peanut allergy, which lets people know it's serious. And mentioning cross-contamination is key because it shows you understand how allergies work beyond just direct ingredients. The phrase "looking out for me" also helps build trust and collaboration.
Absolutely. And in the second scenario, when you were talking about your son's dairy allergy, you clearly explained the symptoms like getting a rash and a stomach upset. That helps people understand the impact without being too dramatic.
Exactly, and asking, "Does anything else here have dairy I should watch out for?" is a really common way to ask about other potential allergens. It's practical and to the point. The verb "puts in his mouth" is also a very natural way to describe eating for a child.
That's a great point. Then in the third sample, you heard me use the expression serious egg allergy, again emphasizing the importance. And saying bad reaction instead of a super medical term is easy for anyone to understand. Mark, what about the host's response in that last one?
The host's reply, "Thanks for the heads up," is a very common way to acknowledge important information. And phrases like "kept her snacks completely separate" and "washes her hands thoroughly" show concrete steps they're taking, which is very reassuring for a parent. Also, "filled out all the forms" is a common phrase for paperwork. To build on that, saying something like "her safety is our top priority" really shows dedication. It helps assure parents that their child's well-being is the main concern.
That's a critical point. Emphasizing commitment provides comfort. We also heard phrases like, take allergies very seriously, which is another great way to express that same dedication.
Exactly. Instead of I carry an EpiPen, but I'd really prefer not to use it, a person might say, I have my auto-injector with me, though I'd much rather avoid an incident today. It's about preparedness while expressing a preference.
Good substitution. And for parents, instead of I have to be super careful about what he puts in his mouth, one could say, I need to closely monitor what he consumes. Both convey the vigilance required.
Or when asking if food contains an allergen, rather than did you make them with dairy, you could simply inquire, do these contain any milk products, or are these dairy-free?
Yes, being direct helps. And for reminding someone, instead of, I just wanted to remind you that my daughter has a serious egg allergy, you might say, just a quick reminder about the egg restriction for my child. Now, let's look at how these useful expressions adapt to different everyday situations. Think about the phrase, severe allergy.
At work, if someone offers you a snack, you could say, thanks, but I can't have that. I have a severe nut allergy. It's clear and quick.
And in a social setting, like a friend's dinner party, you might mention, before we order, I need to let the server know about my serious gluten allergy. This gives them a chance to plan.
When shopping, if you're unsure about ingredients, asking, does this product risk cross-contamination with soy, is very precise and helpful to store staff.
That precise language saves time. How about looking out for me?
If a coworker remembers your dietary need at a team lunch, you could say, hey, thanks for looking out for me with the vegetarian options. It shows appreciation.
Absolutely. Or with friends after they've made a special effort. I really appreciate you looking out for me, making sure there were no mushrooms in the dish.
Moving on, watch out for is another useful one. If you're packing snacks for a trip, you might tell a travel companion, we need to watch out for any hidden dairy in these granola bars.
And thanks for the heads up is super versatile. If a friend texts you about a restaurant having new allergy protocols, you'd reply, thanks for the heads up about their updated menu.
It's also important to vary your tone. Let's consider how to sound more relaxed versus more polite without using a strictly formal tone.
For a relaxed approach with friends, instead of, I must inquire if this contains any peanuts, you could simply say, any peanuts in this?
Right, with someone you don't know well, or in a restaurant, a more polite phrasing would be, could you please confirm if this meal has nuts? It's a bit softer.
When you're with family, asking about a dish might be, is this safe for my sister's shellfish allergy? Very direct, very casual.
But if you're attending a new social gathering, you'd opt for, I was hoping you could tell me if there are any shellfish ingredients in this for my sister. It adds a touch more courtesy.
Knowing when to adjust your language makes these conversations much smoother and more natural. All right, let's put these tips into practice with some rapid-fire scenarios. What if you're at a social gathering and someone unexpectedly offers you a dish without knowing your dietary needs?
I'd say that looks wonderful, but I actually can't have any nuts. Thanks for thinking of me.
Excellent. How about this? Your child's friend wants to share some candy at a playdate, and you need to verify it's safe.
I would ask, that looks fun. Let's check the ingredients first, just to be sure it's okay for everyone.
Good one. Last scenario. You're trying a new restaurant and need to clearly communicate an allergy to the staff.
I'd explain before I order. Could you please confirm if this meal contains any peanuts? I have a serious allergy.
Those quick responses are perfect for managing different situations. Now, to wrap up our session, let's quickly review the 3 most valuable points we covered today. First, prioritize clarity in your communication about allergies. Don't assume others know. Second, remember to adjust your politeness level depending on who you're speaking with and the environment. And finally, always express genuine appreciation when people go out of their way to accommodate your dietary restrictions. And that brings us to the end of our conversation on allergy awareness in American English. We truly hope you've found these practical language tips helpful for everyday interactions. Make sure to subscribe to our podcast, double your vocabulary, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next episode. Thanks for joining us.